Hello everyone, this is CS Shilpi Periwal from Shilpis Academy, and on this channel we are going to bring you out not just subject related videos of CA, CS and CMA. We teach all these three courses in our academy. We'll not just give you subject related videos but a lot of secret tips, hacks and motivation for exam related matters. So today's topic is how to remember or how to memorize company law section. A lot of my students come to me with this doubt. Ma'am, company law okay va, ma'am, but evro sections irke. How will we remember all these sections, ma'am? Even if we are remembering today, tomorrow we might forget. Or ma'am, we are getting confused between the sections. Is it mandatory to remember all these sections? Well, see, as a CS student, it is mandatory to remember company law sections, at least the important one. As a CA student also, my suggestion is, as a CA or a CMA student, my suggestion is to remember at least a few important sections. But for a CS student, it's all the more mandatory because company law is the thing which you are supposed to be experts at, right? So today's tricks is about how to remember company law section. But before I start, one of the most important thing which I want to tell all of you. See, in the exam time, if you supposing are not able to remember the correct section, is it okay to write a wrong section? Absolutely not. You should be 200% sure that this is the section and only then you should quote that section in your answer. Otherwise, stick to according to applicable section of the Companies Act 2013. All right. So the first tip on how to memorize the company law sections. See, company law has 470 sections. Companies Law Act 2013, it has 470 sections and a lot of rules. This 470 sections in the act is divided into 29 chapters. Now, CA people would probably be reading it as chapters, how it is there in the act. However, for the CS students, their institute material has a different arrangement of sections within the chapters. So whichever study material you are following, just remember that the sections has to be divided according to that chapter and you have to stick to it. So what is the first point on how to memorize it? You have to divide it into chapters. For CA students, you can divide it into how the Companies Act chapters are. So say for example, if you are dealing with chapter of directors, chapter 16, right? So you would deal according to that section. You're dealing with management and administration chapter 7, that is for CA students. So you stick to the sections which is in that chapter, right? So let's take a look. Now for the CS students, their chapter arrangements are different. Say for example, this is chapter 16 for the CS students. That is your directors. This starts from section 149 and it goes on to section 171, right? 84, 85, we'll discuss about it later. So from section 149 to section 171. So if there is any question which is related to directors, then you know that it is between chapters 149 to 171. So you have to divide the sections according to the chapter numbers. So if you are going to talk about chapter 16, when you are learning, divide the sections in that. In this chapter, we are going to study from this section to this section. And whatever question is asked between this, it would be somewhere between these sections only. That is the first trick on how you should manage your Companies Act sections memorization. Okay, divided into chapters and then remember the section. So if it's dividends chapters is from section 123 to 128. So you remember it like that. Whatever is the sections, if it is this chapter, it would be somewhere between these sections. All right. The next way on how to remember it is, after dividing it into chapters, you have to make some connection of the section number from the content inside the section. Okay. So use the content of the section. Okay. How can we do that, ma'am? I'll give you a few examples, but technically you should find out your own examples. It's always better if you have your own stories and own examples with all the sections, at least the important ones, right? So say for section 96. Section 96. Okay. What is section 96? It's the AGM section. Between what time to what time should the AGM be conducted? Between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So anything from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. AGM section. What is the section number? 96. Next, section 100. Section 100 is for EGM. Hitting 100 is a good news, right? Hitting 100 is extraordinary. Getting 100 on 100 in your exams, be it your 10th standard, 12th standard, it was a huge thing, right? It was an extraordinary thing. So 100 is for extraordinary general meeting. In this way, you need to find out your own stories with most of the important section. Try to relate that with the content inside it. Okay. The next tip is not just using the content of the section, but actually making a story of the related sections. Okay. So we do storytelling, or we use some visuals. What visuals and what storytelling? So we connect a few sections. Okay. Now let's see an example of this section. Over here, section 19 is company should have a board of directors. Okay. And then after that, if it should have a board of directors, it should know from where to get independent directors also. So it should maintain a data bank of independent directors. It should have one more type of independent directors, that is your small shareholder director. Okay. Then after making sure that it has all these three sorted, it has to appoint the directors. For them, it should have a DIN number. It should allot the DIN number to them. If someone is having more than one DIN, you have to prohibit that also. That director should intimate the DIN number to you also. So in this way, you have to make a story out of it. My tip is, I always used to connect these stories to myself. I used to imagine myself as a company or as a director. Connect all these lines to yourself. Now say for example, section 180 is about passing a special resolution in the general meeting. 181, 182 and 183 is all about charity, defense and political parties. So, okay, you pass a resolution and from that money, you do a political contribution, you do a charity contribution, you do a National Defense Fund contribution. So, you remember the sections in that, right? Always try to make a story out of the sections which is in a line, like, in serial number. So, if you do that, it will be very helpful to remember the important topics at least. So, this is your third tip. Take out from the content, the section number itself, make your own stories. You might have your secret birth numbers, you might have your birth dates, your family's birth dates, you might have your best friend or your boyfriend, girlfriend's birth dates. Try to make content from that and remember those important. And apart from that, of course, storytelling and visuals are important. But even if this is not enough, like, not all the sections can be learned in this matter. Fourth, and the classic way of doing it, I would say, is make a chart. Okay? Make a chart. Make a chart of the important 100 sections, 3 to 100 sections. On that 100, 120 sections, already you would have remembered at least 40, 50 sections via this route, the first 3 points. So the fourth way is make a chart, write all that sections, stick it somewhere where you always see it every morning. Just go there, see it while either before sleeping or while waking up. Most of the sections you will remember in this matter. So make a visual chart and stick it to a place. 5 minutes in the morning or 5 minutes before sleep. This is the only helpful tool which I found when I was learning 6th and 7th standard chemistry, where we had to remember all the formulas and the symbols and the valency and all those things. This was another helpful, right? Now the next point is make a connection between the sections. Make connection and keep revising. Very, very important is keep revising. So say for example, if you are learning chapter 15 and in that you are learning something came up about shares, you remember, yes, this was about that section. Okay, you are learning about directors or you're learning about board meetings. And then you remember, yes, in AGMs, they used to do like this. Which section was it? Okay, it was this section. So when you are reading some other chapter also, keep revising the section which is correlated to it from some other chapter. This also helps to ensure that you keep revising your sections. All right. So I think these are the tips which follow. You can remember the companies at important sections really very well. So see you all, and look out, keep like hit the like button, subscribe to our channel so that you keep getting a lot more such videos. Thank you so much.